architects, stop calling it entertainment, stop calling it the news, stop calling it social media, start calling it what it is. Cognitive warfare. You are not passively consuming content. You are actively receiving engineered inputs designed to erode your mental sovereignty and optimize you for maximum profit and compliance. This is mind control, deployed at scale, using precision psychology you barely notice. The goal is simple: keep you predictable, keep you scrolling, keep you consuming, keep you reacting. If you believe motivation will save you from these systems, you are already losing. Motivation is volatile. The mechanisms of manipulation are static, powerful, and relentless. They don't rely on your feelings. They rely on proven protocols of human weakness. Your only defense is to build systems superior to theirs. Today, we are identifying the 5 primary infiltration points they use to control your attention, your identity, and your chi. And we are implementing the 5 non-negotiable defense protocols to lock them out. You need to understand, if you are confused, angry, distracted, and perpetually feeling behind, that is the intended outcome. A distracted mind is a controllable mind. This is not a theoretical discussion. This is a tactical briefing. Implement these systems starting in the next 60 minutes. Protocol 0 acknowledges siege. The enemy is structural. Your job is to build a fortress. Let's deploy the countermeasures. The first system they use is the reality distortion filter. Their goal: eliminate nuance, force you into 2 camps, us versus them, good versus evil, right versus wrong. Why? Because nuance slows down engagement. Nuance requires critical thinking. Binary thinking is fast, emotional, and highly If they can force every complex issue into a simple A-B choice, they control the debate. They own the middle ground before you even notice it exists. When you internalize this binary framework, you stop seeking truth and start seeking validation for your chosen team. You become predictable tribal input, ready to fight the other tribe. This destroys your capacity for flexible problem solving, the core skill of an architect. Your weakness, the desire for simplicity and belonging. The architect's defense, Protocol 1, the Triangulation System. You need to establish 3 non-affiliated data points before you form a solidified opinion or take action on a piece of information. Step 1. Identify the source's incentive. When presented with a fact or narrative, immediately ask, who profits from me believing this, and what is the opposing narrative they are actively suppressing? Every source has an angle. Map that angle. Step 2. Locate the first countersource. Immediately seek a source with a fundamentally different structural incentive. If source A is mainstream media, source B must be an independent specialist or academic publication. If source A is a corporation selling a product, source B must be an unbiased consumer watchdog. Force the conflict of interest into the open. Step 3. Search for the core data. Ignore the narrative packaging. Go directly to the primary raw data. If they cite a study, read the methodology section. If they cite a trend, look at last 10 years of raw metrics, not just the last 6 months. A true opinion is earned through triangulation, not repetition. If you cannot find 3 structurally independent perspectives, you do not have an opinion. You have an assumption handed to you. Do this now. Stop arguing based on headlines. Before your next reaction on a political or market topic, dedicate 30 minutes to locating the 3 required data points. Force complexity back into the debate. Defeat the filter. The second system is the dopamine slot machine. Their goal: Maintain perpetual attention captured by weaponizing variable rewards, social feeds, news alerts, email notifications. They are not designed for maximum information delivery. They are designed for maximum time on site. They achieve this by utilizing the principle of unpredictable reinforcement. You scroll, and 99 bland posts pass by, but that one random, perfect piece of validation or explosive piece of news hits your brain like a jackpot. Your brain begins to treat the feed like a slot machine. Maybe the next one will be the big payout. This uncertainty is infinitely more addictive than certainty. It destroys your ability to focus on long-term, predictable, non-variable work, the work that actually builds your empire. They turn your focus into a cheap commodity, constantly chasing the next low-effort thrill. Your weakness, craving, novelty, and instant validation. The architect's defense. Protocol 2. The time box sustainment system. You cannot rely on willpower to resist the slot machine. You must impose a rigid external structure. Step 1. Attention budgeting. Define the exact duration of your digital engagement before you open the app. Do not say, "I'll check quickly." Say, "I have 7 minutes of budgeted screen time." This must be enforced with a hard timer, kitchen timer, not phone timer. Step 2. Replace variable with guaranteed reward. When you feel the urge to scroll, immediately switch the system. If the slot machine gives unpredictable, low-effort rewards, you must switch to predictable, high-effort rewards. This is your core work. Use the habit stacking rule. After I feel the urge to check the phone, I will instead execute the first 3 minutes of my deep work task. Step 3. Designate zones. Define physical locations and specific hours, for example, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. where the variable reward system is structurally impossible. Phones are stored in a different room, no exceptions. This shifts the default behavior from passive reception to active creation. You must treat your attention like a financial asset. Cut the leakage. If a platform does not give you a predictable, measurable ROI, it is a liability. Do this now. Go into your phone settings. Turn off 80% of your notifications. Schedule 3 10-minute dopamine dosing windows throughout the day and enforce the timer ruthlessly. The third system is the manufactured urgency engine. Their goal: force decisions under pressure, bypassing logical processing. Every news cycle is defined by breaking news. Every advertisement is a limited time offer. Every political debate is framed as the end of democracy if you don't act now. This tactic leverages the cognitive shortcut of scarcity and immediate threat. When stress hormones spike, complex analysis shuts down. You default to impulsive, emotional responses, clicking, buying, or reacting aggressively. The urgency is rarely real. The consequence of waiting 24 hours is usually negligible, but the feeling of urgency forces you out of architect mode, planning, calculating, and into firefighter mode, reacting, panicking. A mind constantly in crisis mode cannot build. It can only survive. Your weakness, fear of missing out, FOMO, and the psychological demand for immediate resolution. The architect's defense. Protocol 3. The 72-hour decision delay protocol. Implement a mandatory cooling off period for all non-critical inputs, emotional triggers, and perceived urgent purchases. Step 1. The friction barrier. When you encounter a high urgency trigger, for example, a must-buy deal, a dramatic political alert, an emotionally charged social post, immediately document the core claim. Do not interact. Close the tab. Step 2. The 72-hour lockout. For all financial decisions over $100 or any emotional political decisions that spike your anxiety, impose a 72-hour mandatory review. If the decision cannot wait 72 hours, it is almost certainly a psychological ambush. Step 3. Reevaluation filter. After 72 hours, reread the original claim. Ask, did the world collapse? Was the deal really unique? Do I still feel the same level of urgency? 99% of manufactured urgency dissolves under the light of delayed analysis. Urgency is the enemy of quality control. The moment you feel pressured, you must deploy the friction barrier. They cannot control you if you control the timeline. Do this now. Identify the last 3 things you bought or reacted to impulsively. Calculate how much money or focus you would have saved if you had waited 72 hours. Apply the protocol to your next big purchase decision. The 4th system is the surrogate identity trap. Their goal: outsource your self-worth to external consumption and tribal membership. If the media can convince you that who you are is defined by what you buy, what you wear, or which team you belong to, they have perpetual control over your spending and your behavior. They sell you identity markers: the right car, the correct political stance, the approved lifestyle brand. This is a powerful trap because it feeds your fundamental need for belonging, but it replaces the rigorous, painful work of building a genuine internal self-image with a prefabricated substitute. You stop striving for mastery and start striving for validation. When your sense of self is externally derived, you are infinitely, because fear of being cast out of the tribe or fear of not owning the right thing becomes the ultimate controller. Your weakness seeking external validation and relying on tribal affirmation. The architect's defense. Protocol 4. The internal validation matrix. You must hardwire your self-worth calculation to internal, measurable metrics that cannot be influenced by external feeds. Step 1. Define your core metrics, the 4 pillars. Identify 4 areas where progress is purely internal and objective. Health, for example, max deadlift, resting heart rate, weekly training hours. Skill mastery, for example, X hours practicing the high-leverage skill. Quantifiable improvement metric. Financial control, for example, debt reduction rate, net worth increase. Contribution, for example, tangible value delivered to others or projects. Step 2. The daily status check. At the end of every day, ignore external commentary. Review your status based only on the 4 pillars. If your metrics improved, you had a successful day, regardless of social recognition or media narrative. Step 3. Decommission external status symbols. Actively identify one item, subscription, or behavioral pattern, for example, obsessively following a sports team. Participate in zero-sum social media debates that contributes only to surrogate identity and 0 to the 4 pillars. Cut it immediately. Your value is determined by your output, not your affiliation. When you focus inward on objective self-improvement, the identity traps lose their structural integrity. Do this now. List your 4 pillars. If you can't measure them numerically, redefine them until you can stop consuming identity. Start building one. The 5th system is the perpetual engagement loop. Their goal: substitute the feeling of productivity consumption for the act of productivity creation. The media ecosystem is excellent at keeping you busy, learning about success, watching people be successful, and discussing theoretical systems. They generate endless streams of content: videos, podcasts, articles that give you a subtle, false sense of effort. You feel productive because you are engaging with high-density information. The loop works like this. Consume the inspiration greater than feel motivated. Consume more inspiration, feel overwhelmed. Consume motivational content to overwhelm, repeat. You become a sophisticated academic of achievement without ever crossing the threshold into actual execution. This is the deadliest trap for the architect, who values knowledge but must prioritize application. Your weakness: mistaking information intake for tangible progress. The architect's defense. Protocol 5. The creation-consumption ratio system 2-to-1. You must enforce a mandatory, quantifiable ratio between passive learning consumption and active application creation. Step 1. Set the minimum ratio. Your goal is a 2-to-1 ratio. For every 2 hours spent consuming information relevant to your core goals, videos, books, podcasts, you must spend 1 hour actively applying that knowledge, writing code, building a prototype, executing a new sales script, teaching the concept to someone else. Step 2. Time tracking imposition. Start tracking these two metrics rigorously. Use time tracking software, for example, Clockify, Toggle. This cannot be estimated. If your log shows 10 hours of consumption and 1 hour of creation, the system has failed. You are indebted to creation. Step 3. The debt penalty. If your consumption debt exceeds 5 hours, you enter a mandatory creation-only lockout. No new content is permitted until you burn off the debt through application. This forces you to switch from observer mode to operator mode. Content is currency, but currency only has value when it is invested, not hoarded. Your focus must be on throughput. How much knowledge can you convert into tangible results? Do this now. Track your last 3 days. Calculate your creation-consumption ratio. If it's below 2-to-1, immediately schedule 2 hours of debt payoff before watching another instructional video, including this one. Architects. This is the reality. The battlefield is your mind. You are being targeted by systems, not individuals. The structural protocols designed to compromise your focus and manipulate your behavior. Your defense is not willpower. Your defense is the superior system. We have established the 5 protocols. 1. The Triangulation System. Defeat binary thinking. Force complexity. Find 3 sources. 2. The time box sustainment system. Defeat variable rewards. Budget your attention ruthlessly. 3. The 72-hour decision. Delay protocol. Defeat manufactured urgency. Impose friction on impulse. 4. The internal validation matrix. Defeat the surrogate identity. Measure your 4 core pillars. 5. The creation-consumption ratio 2-to-1. Defeat the engagement loop. Prioritize the application over intake. Implement these right now. Do not wait for Monday. Do not wait for motivation. Choose one protocol, maybe start with the 72-hour delay and apply it to the next external trigger you receive. Mental sovereignty is not a birthright. It is a system you must engineer and defend daily. Stop being optimized by external forces. Start optimizing your internal fortress. Execute